Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and in this video I'm going to record IELTS mock test book number 17 test number 2. Okay, in the previous videos I recorded test number 3 and 4, and in this video I'm going to record test number 2, and in the next video I'll record test number 1 book 17 IELTS Cambridge book 17. Okay, so let's start this video, and part 1 is reading, and the first question is, did you have a favorite book when you were a child? Why or why not? Yes, when I was a child I had a favorite book, and its name was The Story of People Who Sold Their Iman. Actually, when I was a child, my father used to tell me stories of Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, who was a warrior, and he conquered almost half of the world, and this book was based on his life story and the battles he fought in his life. So almost every day I used to read it with my father, and this was my favorite book when I was a child. Okay, next question. How much reading do you do for your work or studies? Why or why not? Well, I'm a research student, and for me, reading is the most important thing. Especially, I have to read research papers or research articles. So I read for 4 to 5 hours on daily basis, except Sunday, because on Sunday I take a leave from studies. Okay, and in these 4 to 5 hours, normally I read 4 to 5 articles. So I have to do a lot of reading in my current life for my studies. Okay. Next, what kinds of books do you read for pleasure? Why or why not? Well, for me, actually, I have no time to read books for pleasure, as I'm a research student. And if I want to entertain myself, then I just simply watch some videos instead of reading books for entertainment. But if I have some time, then I would love to read some novels for pleasure, because these novels are really interesting, and their storylines sometimes are really good to read, and also sometimes you also learn some lessons from these kind of novels. So if I have some time, then I would go for novels for pleasure purpose. Okay. Next, did you prefer to read a newspaper or a magazine online, or to buy a copy? Why? Well, I do not prefer to read newspaper or magazine online or on the internet, because to me reading on cell phone or laptop is something not convenient. I think if someone is reading a newspaper or magazine online, he is actually losing the touch of papers, like roll down the paper, or move from one page to another page, and book itself has a really good feeling if you have with you, or newspaper or magazine, whatever you have in your hand. It looks far better, and you tend to be more engaging with this one. So I prefer to buy a copy, a hard copy, to read it, because it is more convenient for me, and I can read it for longer hours rather than studying reading news online or reading magazines online. And also there are some other distractions online. For example, maybe some ads pop up while you're reading a newspaper or magazine. So I think someone cannot focus, and also he loses the touch of papers. Okay, if someone is studying or reading some newspaper or magazines online. Okay, next, now part 2. And in part 2, the topic is, describe a big city you would like to visit. Okay, you should say which big city you would like to visit, how you would travel there, what you would do there, and explain why you would like to visit this big city. Well, I lived in China for a long time, but I didn't have time to go to Beijing. Beijing is the capital city of China and one of the biggest cities in the world. So if I have chance, I would like to visit Beijing. I'm going to stay in Shenzhen, and before I was staying in Xinjiang, and from there are a few ways that I could use to travel there. I can either take plane to go to Beijing, and I guess flight from Nanjing to Beijing is around 2 hours or maybe 3 hours long. Okay, and the train distance on fast train is around 4 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to use train to go to Beijing. Okay, I've heard a lot about this city. Okay, this is the capital city, as I said earlier, of China, and this city has lots of foreigners and so many historical places, tourist attractions, and they have this city has its own cuisine, its own culture, and so many people every year visit this city. What I want to do there is I want to explore historical places of this city, especially the Great Wall of China. I've never been to Great Wall of China, but I love to go there. One of my friends visited the Great Wall and the Beijing about 3 years ago, and when he came back, he told us many stories, especially me, and I got really amazed. And also, I have seen a documentary about the Great Wall, how they built such a wonder in the ancient time, and especially the problems they faced while they were constructing such kind of gigantic wall. Okay, so I like to go there. I like to see the Great Wall as well as the culture of this city. And I've heard, more foreigners they visit this city. Also, there are some good universities in this city, like the Beijing Institute of Technology and some other universities. Okay, so I like to go there, explore, and also one thing I like to mention particularly here, that is the airport of Beijing. This is one of the biggest airport in the world, so I like to go there and see and move around in the city, especially in the evening. Normally the weather is really cold here, so I like to experience all these things over there. Okay, if I have chance, I would love to go there. I try to shorten my answer because if I give long answers, of course you can get more ideas, but the problem is that my video gets really long. So that's why I'll try to give 2 minutes answers of 2 minutes answer of part 2. Okay, now let's quickly move on to part 3. Okay, so visiting cities on holiday. This is the first topic. What are the most interesting things to do while visiting cities on holiday? Well, it depends, I guess, on the city itself. For example, if you're going to Beijing, then you can, on holidays you can enjoy historical places, the culture of the city, especially the Beijing Opera. If you have chance, you can go to some theater and you can watch this thing on holiday. You would enjoy it a lot. And furthermore, you can go for camping, for hiking. This city has lots of places for hiking and also for camping. Okay, so normally in holidays people have more time, so they can explore the city in a better way. If someone is going there for a short time, maybe for 1 to 2 days, maybe he'll just visit like the Great Wall in case of Beijing, and maybe he'll not have enough time to explore other things. And if I talk about my country city, like Islamabad, okay, so there you first thing is like every day you can go to visit different parts. These could be really interesting things, or you can visit the restaurant. Especially Islamabad food is really famous around the world, so someone can go there, enjoy the food, enjoy the culture, and visit historical places and some tourist attractions like Damniko, if I talk about Monument, Faisal Mosque, okay, some other areas. So I think these are the most interesting things to do while you are visiting cities on holidays, because you have more time, so you can do all these activities there. Okay, next. Why can it be expensive to visit cities on holiday? Well, there could be few reasons. First of all, on holiday, more and more people they go to the famous cities, so it is difficult to find a hotel, and also to find a cheap hotel. I think to find a cheap hotel would be very difficult on holidays because more tourists they go there. And furthermore, even the traveling is really expensive because all the airlines, they know that more people they're going to visit, or they're going to travel to other places, so that's why the fare is relatively high than the normal cases. Okay, for example, If you want to visit any other city on holidays, for example, in New Year holidays in China, then the airline ticket would be really expensive. The hoteling expense would be really the hotel would be really expensive. Also, if you want to move around in the city and if you want to see beautiful places, there the things would be really expensive, because people, they know that more and more tourists will come in these holidays. So all the things are really expensive because of this one. Okay, I guess so. Okay, next, do you think it is better to visit cities alone or in a group with friends? Well, if you ask me, then I would say it is better to visit other cities with friends, with a group, because there you can explore the things in a better way. You can enjoy the company of your friends. You can enjoy the beautiful places and scenic views, and also you can make funs. You can make fun, and you can have a lot of memories with your friends. Okay, for example, just before the COVID 2020 New Year, we celebrated and we spent in Shanghai, and I went there with my friends. And still we have all these memories saved in our cell phone and in our laptops. Whenever we want to, we watch or we go through from all those memories, and we had a lot of fun. And I feel if I had gone there alone, then I may not have enjoyed my trip in a way that I was able to enjoy while visiting the city with my friend. I also went to Shanghai once alone, but I couldn't enjoy much because there was no one who could capture picture for me, and there was no one who could, I could share jokes with him, and there was no one who, like, having fun together, visiting different places, and talking with strangers. So I think with friends it's totally a different experience. So to me, going with friends to other cities would be great. Okay, next one. The growth of cities. Okay, the first question is, why have cities increased in size in recent years? Well, the major reason is that more and more people, they want to come to cities to explore and to utilize all the facilities that they have in the cities. For example, in my country, about 70% people, they used to live in the rural areas, and there they didn't have lots of facilities. Like if I talk about good transportation facilities, health facilities, education facilities. Okay, so these things they didn't have. So what people, they realized at that time, or like a few years ago, about a couple of decades ago, they realized that if they want to move with the world, or if they want to succeed in this world, then education is really necessary, especially, and other facilities are also necessary in their lives. So that's why they started migrating to the cities. And what it does, that the city size is increasing day by day due to this one. And now, if I talk about my country, in just 20 years, the city size have doubled, I would say. Okay, so now almost 75% of people, they live in the cities rather than in the countryside in my country. So I think this is a major reason that people, they come to the cities for facilities. So that's why the city size is increasing. Okay, next one. What are the challenges created by ever-growing cities? Well, there are so many challenges. For example, it is difficult to manage housing, health facilities. Okay, it is difficult to manage the overall population, the transportation system, and other things. There are so many problems due to this one, because the cities are getting more and more populated. For example, Japan. If you have visited Japan, and if you have chance to travel on subway, you will realize that there are so many people who are traveling by subway. So the security guard, he has to come in and close the door by force of the subway train. So this is just one problem, that it is difficult to manage these many people, and also to manage health facilities. Normally, if I talk about some countries, maybe in developed countries it's not the common problem, but in the developing countries it's a very common problem, that they do not have enough hospitals for all the people. If someone gets sick, he has issues to find bedding. For example, in the COVID days, when more and more people, they got sick, there was no beds available for the people, especially in India, our neighboring country. Okay, and in other countries also. Okay, so to manage health facilities, transportation facilities, and especially housing is another big issue. These days, the environment has been affected due to more housing in the cities. In the past, if I talk about, there used to be so many trees that people planted in the cities, but now those trees have been replaced by some colonies or residential areas. Okay, so these are the problems that have been created by overpopulating cities or more growing cities. Okay, next one. In what ways do you think cities of the future will be different to cities today? As far as I can think, I think in the future the cities would be more advanced one. For example, if I talk about the housing, more rather than having big societies where one house contains a proper land like 5 marla, 10 marlas, whatever. In the future, I guess we will move towards more bigger buildings, more taller buildings, and maybe 100 houses these days, like they covered. For example, if 2 acres land, then those houses will be in just one tall building, just like in other cities I have seen. It's not the case in my country. Also, in the future, we will have more better transportation facilities, health facilities. Okay, and there would be, I guess, more parks in the cities. Right now, government or across the globe, they're realizing that parks are also important. These days, there are not enough parks, or there are not enough, relaxing facilities for the people. But in the future, I guess there would be more, and the cities would be more development. There would be better roads, better transportation facilities, better health facilities, better education facilities. I think there would be more in the future in the cities. Okay, so this was the whole test, and this was test number 2, IELTS book 17. And one thing I like to mention here, that I will write all these questions in the description section, so you can check out all the questions, okay, and their answers. So you can compare your answers with mine, listen to these mock tests, these videos. These are going to be really helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.